You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to The Spectral Zone with host Kaz Rooney.
Good evening, guys and gals, and welcome to the Spectral Zone on Parasearch Radio. I am Kaz Rooney, I'm your host, and tonight I've been joined by my friend and one of the co-founders of East Anglia Paranormal Investigations, Gary Bradfield. Hello, Gary.
Good evening, Kaz.
How are you tonight?
I'm all good. How are you, yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. So we actually had this interview arranged and it got laywayed by Microsoft. Put it that way. We'll blame Microsoft for it. But we've eventually got you here.
Well, yeah, I'm in Lowestoft, so we're not exactly sitting next to each other.
Yeah, but at least we've got you in the studio.
That's right.
Thing.
That's right. The wonders of technology. Don't tell Kerry, because you know what she's like.
Yeah, she'll start crying. She doesn't like tech. Don't freak her out too much.
No.
So let's start at the very beginning. Before East Anglia Paranormal Investigations, what I really want to know, Gary, is when did you first become aware or get your interest in the paranormal?
Well, I think really and truly I was knee-high, as my mum would say, knee-high to the cricket. I was a very, very small young boy, and I had what they would say imaginary friend, but it was actually a real person, a little boy, Victorian, basically Victorian boy. But you could sort of say, you could go back further than that, because I would like to say that I had actually had my gift before I was even born because of my nan, which didn't please my mum. Yeah, it didn't please my mum because I was actually due on the 1st of October. And my nan said, there's no way he'll be born on the 29th. Well, back in them days, women weren't induced. And
yeah.
Lo and behold, my mum had to go until the 29th of October. And that's when I was born, as my nan predicted.
Really? So it runs in your family then?
Yeah, it runs right through. So I basically got the gift from me nan. Mum's got a little bit, but not as much.
Did you find it scary as a child, though?
No. As I say, it was as a child. Once my mum and dad moved to a Victorian cottage, and as I say, there was a little boy there, and my mum would take me up the shops, and he would stop. He sort of like had a boundary.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't cross the road. And I basically drove my mum mad because he was there and my mum couldn't see him. And I wouldn't go to bed unless, Peter his name was called Peter, was in bed with me. I'd make my mum take Peter to the toilet.
Oh.
I'd make my mum. Now you've got to realise it was only my dad eating at that working.
Yeah.
And money was a bit tighter, and my mum even had to put a plate of food out for Peter, otherwise I wouldn't eat. It was that bad.
Really?
Yeah, I actually drove her crazy.
So looking back on that, that's quite interesting though. I mean, myself, I've got kids. You've got grandkids. Yourself and Sharon have got grandkids. So looking back on that, if they say they had a little friend and you've got to put food out or whatever, how would you handle that?
I would handle, not exactly how, I would handle it as I do anything. I would say, okay, fair enough, knowing now what I know.
Yeah.
I think for a parent, personally, that doesn't do what we do, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, I can understand that.
They start saying, well, that's just a friend, don't worry about it. But once...
So as you started getting a little bit older, how did your gift progress?
Basically what happened is, from obviously moving from there, my mum and dad actually moved. And
okay.
Which is really weird, because obviously we moved outside Peter's boundary and Peter stayed there at the house. And we basically moved across the road. I started from there. I ended up starting. I was just still there. Well, it was a brand new housing estate. The land wasn't anything spectacular. There was nothing spectacular on the land at the time, and even earlier on. But what happened was from seeing Peter, I ended up going into basically psychic dreams, which is not very nice.
Yeah. How did you handle that?
The very first one was a bit of a shock. I had the dream, and lo and behold, it came true, and it was a bit of a shock. I was quite young, but they sort of progressed. It was right up until I think I must have been about 18. I was having them, and what happened was I was actually at work, and I worked in a wood machine factory making furniture out of solid wood. Yeah. And there's a machine there called a shaper, and it shapes different legs shapes and arm shapes.
Oh yeah, I know what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've got like clamps, and they come down to hold wood in, obviously. The cutters on them, the cutters obviously, because they're making the shapes, they overhang, and they're very sharp, obviously. Yeah. But the revolutions on them is near enough 4,000 revolutions a minute. So you're looking at a very high speed. Yeah. And basically what happened was I suddenly hit a psychic dream in the middle of the day and caught my arm in the machine, and the cramps come down. And I was about a foot away from losing my left arm.
Wow.
And before the machine was shut off. And I basically then said, when I got home, I said to Mum, that's it. I'm just shutting myself. I'm shutting down. Yeah. Didn't have no one to turn to, and at 18, I shut off completely. Shut the power and shut everything off. It's the easiest way to do it. Don't know how I did it, but I did it. And I never had nothing, so...
Do you think maybe Spirit picked up your reluctance to have them around you, so they kind of backed off a little bit to give you a bit of space?
I think so. I think they possibly realised that what had happened was so dangerous and I couldn't handle it. Yeah. That they actually backed off, and they did back off. That was 18, I think I was 18.
Wow.
trying to work out 61, say 81. Take 2 years off of 8. It's about 1979. That was.
Wow.
And sort of from there, which was really weird. I did get, after that I got married, and I actually had forgotten everything. Everything. I'd even forgotten about Peter in the, back in the Victorian house when I was there. Forgotten him. But no, this is where spirit, now me thinking about it, this is where spirit has this funny little way of saying we're still here.
Yeah.
Whether or not you've shut yourself down, we're still here. My first son was born, and I named him Peter.
Wow.
Coincidence? Possibly. But I think it was spirit saying, wait, even though you shut yourself down, we are still here.
That's really interesting. So, what eventually made your awareness awaken again? What was it that got you to go back to it again and try again?
Well, if we sort of like fast forward from 1979 to 2009, I can actually tell you it was actually November 2009. I was working for the NHS.
Yeah.
And I got pneumonia. And it was at the time of the bird flu epidemic.
Yeah.
Got rushed into hospital. They thought it was bird flu. And Sharon's telling them all there, no, it's not bird flu. He's had all the jabs, because I actually worked for the NHS, so I've had all the jabs. And within 24 hours, I was up in intensive care with double pneumonia and put into a coma. Whatever they actually put me in a coma, so it was a hospital-induced coma.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
To allow your body to heal.
Yeah, basically to allow my body to heal. But the trouble was, they were allowing my body to heal, but I wasn't able to fight, in a sense, my own spiritual side. And when I came back out, it came back with a vengeance, basically. Well, not with a vengeance, but it all came back.
Were you scared of it at first when it came back?
No, because to tell the truth, guys, it's weird. I came back and you just waited to put it. It's come to me. It's come back for a reason.
Okay.
I was put in a coma for a reason, and the reason being is I needed to be, even though it was horrible, and I don't wish it on anybody to be put into a medically induced coma.
Yeah.
I've come to terms with it, and after obviously coming out, I just thought it was all done for a reason, and that reason was to give me back what I had shut off, locked away for so many years. So I basically said, right, I'm going to start helping people. This is the reason why it's come back,
Well, that's interesting. So, I mean, I like the way you're thinking with this. So basically, you've got this gift.
Yeah.
So the main reason for having this gift is to help other people, is it not?
To me, yes.
Yeah.
I do. Well, as E.A.P I. I mean, this is when, obviously, 2010, the foundation was set for E.A.P I to be born.
Yeah.
And the outset was we was going to get a team together, which we did. The team's changed over the years. I said to Sharon that, I don't know everything about the paranormal. I know what I know. I'm going to build a team around me, and that team is going to know their individual roles within the paranormal. So I've basically got. I know tech. I'm not being, but I know what an SP7 is. I know what an SP11 is. I know how they work.
Yeah.
But I've actually got a specialist EVP tech guy.
Okay.
And I can literally not even turn up to an event, and they'll get on and do their job.
Well, this is the thing. Give a shout out to all your team members.
Oh,
because they're not here tonight.
No. Blimey. Well, you've got to give a big shout out to Sharon straight away.
Of course you have, you good lady.
I've got to give a shout out to lady wife Sharon. I mean, she's been through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Then there's Alex. He was with us from the beginning. He's my EVP tech guy.
Okay.
Then we've got Sam Lawrence, which is now, I should actually give her a full title now because she's only just got married. Sam Lawrence Gray.
Oh.
And Mark Lawrence Gray, which is her husband. We had our first E.A.P I wedding this year. So,
oh, that's lovely, isn't it?
yeah. And then we've got Sarah and Carl. I can never remember their names. I should do, but they've got another lot of double-barreled names, but they'll know who I mean.
Yeah.
They'll get a cane, I think it is. And then we've got our trainee in investigator, which is Siobhan. So.
Now, you guys have been really busy this year.
Yes.
And I was actually working with yourselves. You came along to the Old Jerusalem in February.
We did indeed. That was me, Sharon, Carl and Sarah.
Sarah, yeah. And what a lovely place that is.
Very atmospheric.
It really is. I think it's because it's built in caves.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Mm.
But you have been so busy this year. I mean, it's been crazy busy. What's been, well, I'm not going to say what's been your favourite. What has been the most interesting investigation you've been on so far this year?
Well, it's the trouble. I look at them, every single investigation or event we do, because most of ours now are public events.
Yeah.
They're all interesting.
Okay.
Every single one. But I would actually. I mean, we've done, as you don't know, your listeners might know, we've done the Ancient Ram this year. We've done the Old Jerusalem this year.
Yeah.
We've been mega crazy.
Yeah.
But we did basically a pub in Norwich.
Mm-hmm.
And we turned up, and basically we was hoping to have all 3 floors of the pub. It turns out all we was allowed was the basement, the crypt. Now,
and that was it?
That was it. Now, there was me, Sharon, Sarah, Carl, and Siobhan, 5 team members, 20 guests.
Yeah.
In a crypt area. Now,
wow.
Yeah. Wow was the word.
That's a bit cramped.
Yeah. And it was basically, I spoke to Sarah, I said, Jesus, we've got to think on our feet.
Yeah.
And, well, that's what we did. We started thinking on our feet. We sat in there, we went, right, we did this, done that. And, well, we had a very good night, put it this way. We was in Circle.
Yeah. And
doing some energy work in Circle, and all of a sudden 2 of the female guests screamed. But as they screamed, I actually caught a full-bodied apparition come through the wall.
Wow.
And they were actually looking at this. They was actually looking at it coming out the wall.
And that's why they screamed.
That's why they screamed. So that was interesting. It was great. But every location is is interesting for their own reasons.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I mean, have you ever been in a location yet? I mean, it doesn't need to be this year, but have you ever gone to a location yet, Gary, where you've actually said, "I'm not going back there"? It's put you off that much. It's just something's happened that's put you off, and you've just said, "I'm not going back there."
I can actually honestly say no.
Well, that's good.
I don't know if I was talking to somebody on the radio, on one of your shows, or somebody else's show, and I said, "Have you actually got a particular location that keeps calling you back?"
Oh, that was Jason's show last week.
And they actually said, I don't know which they said a location which was an indoor location.
Yeah, it was Villisca. He's based in Nebraska. It was Villisca.
Yeah. Well, I've had a location that just keeps calling me back.
Which is,
believe it or not, it's actually called the Witch's Tree. It's an outdoor location.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if you know or your listeners know, if you might do. We actually, in Lowestoft, we have the three witches. Now, the kids have named, because on this tree it's got three knolls which look like witches' faces. The kids have called it the Witch's Tree. Well, for some unknown reason, I kept getting called back to that place, and it was getting to the point that it was getting stupid.
Have you gotten any answers about it yet?
Well, I know. Well, put it this way: we did the Witch's Tree. I went down there, and a mile up the road, there's a church. We did that on the same night, and we was doing the normal things in the churchyard, calling out. E.A.P. work. You've got to be reasonably quiet, in the church. And well, I was doing some dowsing rods and pendulum work. I basically ended up talking to spirit through both ways. And I had two spirits. One was actually in the graveyard, sitting basically next to me.
Yeah.
And the other one was outside the graveyard at the gate. So, me being me, I said, well, if you want to come and talk to me, I'll invite you in. And the spirit basically threw everything else. That was basically, they couldn't come into the churchyard because the churchyard was consecrated ground.
Okay.
So I said, well, do you want to talk to me? And it was basically yes. And this spirit actually called me out, and they said that I had to go back to the Witch's Tree on that night. Well, I was actually going to go back, and there was people there said, no, you're not going back, because that spirit actually wanted me to go back on my own. Now, me being me, I would have done.
Why do you think it wanted you on your own, though?
Because I knew at the time, and I still stand by my case, I think it was one of the so-called three witches of Lowestoft.
Really? Wow. Now, you've been having a little bit of a rest lately.
Yes.
You've had a little time off because you've been joining us in a lot of discussions in chat room when we're doing shows. You've got an amazing amount of knowledge. Do you feel that you should be passing that on to other people?
Yes, basically. In a nutshell, I know there's a lot of people out there think you shouldn't teach children.
I would disagree with that.
But this is what I disagree as well. But if we don't teach children or our own kids about the paranormal in in a controlled. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I emphasise controlled. It has to be controlled manner. Where are the next paranormal investigators going to come from? Are we going to be looking at people that basically watch the TV and think that's how it's done? Go to a location, you know. So, yes, I do. My personal opinion is yes. I've got to teach the next generation.
Well, it's funny you should say that. My 18-year-old daughter, well, she's almost 19 now, but she had came on investigations with myself and the other team members at the time. But her first big investigation, believe it or not, was 30 East Drive, and it was 3 months after her 17th birthday.
Mm.
She really enjoyed it, but my youngest child, at that age, I don't think I would have taken her, but Melody at that age, I would have taken it. I think it depends on maturity.
Yeah. If you're the parent,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is. See, we've got a policy at E.A.P I. We will not take anybody under the age of 18.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, basically, that is my public liability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My public liability insurance says I'm not allowed to, so we won't, and I wouldn't anyway.
Yeah.
That is down to the parent. I.e. yourself, you've said that you felt as if your 17-year-old was mature enough.
Yeah.
But you think the other one at 17 wouldn't be.
No, she wouldn't be at all.
Now, Brandon, he was 13, and he started getting an interest. He has got the gift. He hasn't got it as strong as me, but he has got the gift. He was getting an interest. So basically, when we was out on investigations, when I come back, I would say, right, there's the pictures I've taken on the night. Go through them. There's the recordings I've taken on the night. Go through them. Okay. And that's how he was taught. By the time he was 18, he knew how a K2 meter worked.
Okay.
He knew how an EMF meter worked. We all know that a mobile phone, even on flight mode, will affect a K2 meter.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. We know that, but not a lot of people do.
Well,
and, but he did. So I was teaching him, basically, hopefully, I was teaching him my way, which hopefully to me is the right way.
Do you have a piece of equipment that you would say is completely unreliable?
Completely unreliable?
Well, I mean, it can... It isn't really much use.
Really not that good. I don't mind any piece of equipment, but they've got to be, the people have to be with the knowledge of what that piece of equipment can do.
Okay.
A K2 meter has got such a big field.
Yeah.
It can pick up on, and the easiest way to do it is put something in the microwave. Put something in it, obviously, so the microwave's going round, and put your K2 meter on and see how close you can get or how far away you can get before the lights disappear.
Yeah.
And people will be surprised how big the field is.
Do you have, as a team, any specific rules that you have to follow before you go on an investigation? Like, you have to do protection, you have to, anything like that? Is there anything specifically you should do as a team?
As a team, that is down. As a team, that is down to the team. That is down to the individual within the team.
Okay.
But when we get on location, or when I have my opening talk, I always ask the public, have you had protection or have you protected yourself?
Okay.
And if there's people that says no, then I will do a protection over them if they want it. Or we've got Vivian comes along with us quite a bit now. She's a part-time member of E.A.P I, and so is Mark Dudley. So Vivian Powell, Mark Dudley are part-time members. So if we're short on location and they're about, they help. But if Viv's about, save me doing the protection, I always ask Vivian to do a protection over the public. But as for team members, that is down to the team. That's not saying that if any of the team members, when we're there, want extra protection throughout the course of the night, then they'll come to me and I will give them extra protection.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is the one... I'm trying to find a way to word this, actually. What is the one experiment you would say is your favourite kind of experiment to do when you're on a location, or do you just work with how the location feels?
We're working at the moment as I like working with the location. I work a lot with energy, so what normally would happen if you was to come along to one of our events, to build the energy up. If we think the energy is not quite right or it's not built up enough, we open the session with Alex, which is our tech guy, and he'll do an echo box, spirit box, echo box session, spirit box session, SB11. He's got SB11 box session, and he'll have the general public around. There'll be, and it's another way of getting. If you've got like 20 guests, and 9 times out of 10 they come in couples or pairs. Yeah. You put those 20 people round a table for half an hour and do an echo box session and all the spirit box session and the SB7 and all these. It's surprising that those 20 people start interacting with other people. Yeah. So then that's building the energy up. Yeah. We try to do that, and we're not creating then. We're not hopefully not creating what I call the wedding party syndrome, where you've got the bride's family on one side and the groom's family on the other side. They're sort of all in the middle, mingling together.
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's getting everyone together and working together to get the best evidence you can.
Yeah. And then from there, it would be. I must admit, if out of everything I do on location at events, public events, I always do. Once the echo box is done, we split up into 2 teams. But the group I always do psychic writing, psychic drawing. Always have, always will. I'm a bit of old school.
Do you feel that works very well for you?
Yeah, it does with me, because, as I say, I work with energy, and I like the technology side of it. I'll use the technology side along, but I do like the old school Ouija boards, psychic writing, psychic drawing. That's that sort of way.
Now, you've still got quite a few investigations this year, but before we move on to that, I want you to tell me, Gary, you've been to one of my favourite locations not too long ago, which is Pendle Hill.
Yes.
Tell me about Pendle Hill.
Pendle Hill, that is a very, very interesting weekend. I'm gonna name drop.
That's okay.
Simon Entwistle was there giving his guided tour of Pendle and the Pendle Witches.
Yeah.
Very interesting guy.
Mhm.
And then sort of like, I think it was Saturday night, we ended up on Pendle. I will say it was very atmospheric.
Mhm.
I felt as if I was welcome there. I didn't feel nothing because, as you know, that would have been basically my first investigation back.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
For the people that don't know, I've just had a very bad heart attack.
I wasn't sure whether or not to say that,
Yeah,
so I
no,
wasn't saying it.
I don't mind, Kaz. It doesn't, people on my group know, and if you want me to go into details on that, I can, because I had an out-of-body experience on that as well, which was great.
Please feel free to tell us if you want to, Gary.
Well, I'll just do Pendle Hill first, and then we'll cut back. I felt as if I was welcome, but I was. I picked up on a few different bits. I felt as if I was being watched, but I was holding everything. I was just holding things slightly back. As I say, it was my first investigation back properly. Yeah. Even though it wasn't our investigation. It was cold.
Yeah.
Very cold up there. Even though it was weird, even though the temperature gauges were saying it was like 1920 up on Pendle Hill. It was actually saying about 1920, I think, but it felt colder than that. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very atmospheric, as I say, and I want to go back.
The thing is with Pendle, I would describe Pendle as having a very funky vibe. It's a very weird place. It seems to be full of energy. And when you're there, well, for me personally, when I left, I got quite upset. I didn't want to leave.
Well, I know with his there, it's sort of like Sarah actually had the need that she had to sit right in the middle. So,
she made it the whole way up. She set herself a goal, didn't she, Sarah? Yes. That she was going to get the whole way up to the top of the hill.
Yeah, she did that. Actually, did that on Sunday.
She did that, and there's pictures of that, isn't there?
Yeah, there's pictures all over. I don't know if there's any on our group page, but she definitely took pictures, and yes, she managed to get all the way up the top.
Well done, Sarah.
Well done, Sarah. Yeah.
So you've had a little bit of an issue recently, as you said. You've been taking a little bit of time out.
Yes. Sorry.
And unfortunately, you had a heart attack. Quite a bad heart attack. But you said you had an out-of-body experience with that?
Yes. I basically was indoors, normal run-of-the-mill day. And started getting chest pains. The trouble is, I've got COPD as well, so I naturally put it down to my COPD.
Yeah.
Took my pump, it wouldn't ease, so I said to Shane, I'm going to go upstairs, I'm going to lay down. Cut a long story and get to the chase. I've all suddenly screamed, my arms, my legs have all gone numb, and I'm in raging pain. Paramedics got here, and it's your husband's having a heart attack. Well, from here to Norwich Hospitals, for mine, it's good 45 minutes to an hour. They wanted to get the air ambulance in, they couldn't stabilise me. And so they said, right, they threw me in the back of the ambulance and basically got from mine to Norwich Hospital, as I say, which is about 45 to an hour's drive.
Wow.
In 20 minutes.
Wow.
And this is with no word of a lie, mate. This is with a stop on the way.
Okay.
All of a sudden, I hear the paramedic in the back shouting to the driver, "You've got to pull over in the next lay-by, or your next easiest place you can pull over." And I couldn't see nothing, didn't know nothing, and all of a sudden, all I see was this. I was out, I'd gone, and I said to Sharon when I was in the hospital, told her the complete tale of what happened, and basically the paramedic telling the driver to pull over, the paramedic in the back jumping from his chair across where I was laying, and he straddled me, and he actually beat me down. I actually flatlined.
Wow.
I flatlined in the ambulance, but I can remember it. And Sharon said, you flatlined, how can you remember it? I said, I couldn't do more than remember it, I saw it.
So you came out of your body and you've been watching them working on you?
Yeah.
That would have been so scary, though.
It did, but then I realized it was one of those, when it first started, it was panic, and then it was complete and utter calm.
Wow.
Because I knew what he was doing was going to bring me back. Don't ask me why, but I just knew whatever he was doing at that point in time, I was coming back.
That must have been such a scary time for Sharon, and your other team members and your family, obviously. They must have been so worried about you.
Yes. And I've got, obviously, Sharon's been my rock ever since. She's been my rock. Well, Sharon's been my rock since 2009, you know, when I ended up in the coma the first time. Yeah. You know, and then she's had to relive all this again with the heart attack. And I'm going to say this, it's going to sound a pun, but I can't thank my team members out there enough, because without them, we wouldn't have done Mansfield, the village at Mansfield. Yeah. And we wouldn't have done the cage at St. Osyth's. Yeah. Because I wasn't fit to do it. So without the team members behind me, couldn't have done it.
Well, you have a great team, and you have your first investigation back, really, officially with East Anglia Paranormal Investigations, will be on the 16th of June, won't it?
Yes.
Redoubt Fort, I believe.
Yeah, it is Redoubt Fort, and I don't do things by half days.
You don't strike me as someone who does, Gary.
Yeah. I did my first official investigation back. We're doing Redoubt Fort for 12 hours.
Crikey.
Yeah.
You don't believe in taking it easy on yourself, really, do you?
No. My whole aim in this is to teach the public what the paranormal is all about. It's not what you see on television.
That is very true.
You know, so... That
is very true. And you've had quite a long break. You must be chomping at the bit to get back into it.
Yes, I am chomping at the bit to get back. But, as I said, I've got a good team behind me. And I know, without a shadow of a doubt, even though we're doing 12 hours, they'll be watching me. And they'll be saying, take it easy, go and have a rest, go and for coffee. So...
Do you know what? I don't doubt that for a second. I just actually have visions of Sarah and Sharon following you about everywhere.
Yeah, and that's you've got to remember it's going to be 3 of them that night, because Viv's coming along as well. So okay. I'm going to have just 3 of them
following you about and making sure you're behaving.
Yeah.
Crikey. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. Especially when I put it to them that I'm going to try and get the boat to move in Redoubt Fort.
You're not actually going to try and do that, are you?
Yep. I am going to try and get the boat in Redoubt Fort to move.
But Gary, shouldn't you be kind of easing into it again?
That is easing it.
Yeah, okay. Okay, all good.
Not easing into it would be sitting in the one of the cells at Redoubt Vault trying to do transfiguration. That wouldn't be easing into it.
I think, would you agree with me? They say that the paranormal's in your blood.
Yes. Yeah.
It definitely is, isn't it?
Yeah. I've always said they'll be wheeling me in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
To an event, so I can do whatever I do. There'll be some 20-year-old going, look at that 90-year-old man over there, and they'll say, don't take no mickey out of him because he knows a hell of a lot.
I believe, for me personally, I mean, we all have up, downs and squabbles and goodness knows what goes on. But at the end of the day, the paranormal's in your blood. You can't walk away from it. You really can't. So you're going to keep going, aren't you?
I'm going to keep going. Yes, I have. Yes, as you say, you have squabbles along the way with, you fall out with people and then you see them again and you make up.
Yeah.
But when anybody that starts down the path of the paranormal field, eventually that will get inside you, that will get inside your blood, and you will not stop.
So do you feel, as a community, we should be pushing forward? There's so much to learn, isn't there?
There's so much to learn. I mean,
you learn from everyone you meet. There's always someone doing something that is a little bit different, and that's what I do love about it. You've learned different things from different people.
I mean, at the present moment in time, I would say I've got let me work it out. I've got 3 different experiments, or you could say 4 actually. I've got 4 different experiments on the go at the moment, all to do with the paranormal, that I take to events. And I get the general public in, and they're helping me with those experiments. One of them's nearly completed.
Well, we actually have a question in the chat room from Mark Dudley, and I will apologise to Mark, but it's only just shown up on my chat. Probably because I'm doing this. But Mark has asked, what's the scariest location you've ever been to?
Scariest location?
Yeah.
Right. Believe it or not, it's not actually the scariest location to look at, Mark. But I think you've been there with us. And let me just scroll down my computer. It's actually Coronation Hall. It was built in 1901, and it's just a village hall in Mundersley. Now there is a video. I think you can find it on our group page, and I was actually taken right out of the game one night in there. We had about four male people in attendance that night, all go down. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was a shock that something. You actually look at the building. We're actually doing another event there this year.
Yeah.
In December. If you go through our events page, you'll see the picture of it. To look at it, it's just a plain brick.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
Plain brick built white building. Built in 1901. And yeah, a very interesting experience. As I say, we have 4 blokes, and it was only blokes, men, all went down. And the story at the end of it, I can't even remember it, but Alex, our tech guy at the time, said all you kept saying was, can't get the Spitfires off, got to get down, and I'd done a bit of research, and basically, in a nutshell, a German bomber was chased all the way from Lowestoft down the coast.
Wow.
To Mundersley, and was shot down dead opposite in the sea, dead opposite the hull.
Wow.
And all 4 crew of the aeroplane died. And I basically took over the persona of, the easiest way to say it is I took the persona, I suppose, of the pilot.
Well, I'm looking at the events you still got this year. You have Landguard Fort, you've got a vigil, Landguard Fort Vigil. That's in September.
Yep.
You've got a ghost hunting experience at Oxford Castle. I would love to go to that. I love castles.
All got spaces available.
You have Lancaster Castle.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got a really special event in October. Do you want to tell everyone about that, Gary?
The October event. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I better mention this. What happens is, we always do charity. We have every year. Okay?
Yeah.
I know there's at the moment, and I'm going to say it.
Yeah.
At the moment, in the paranormal field, there's a big hoo-ha about teams doing charity events. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we've always done them. We've always posted up what we've got.
Yeah.
We don't get the charity number because we just give them to the local charity.
Yeah.
We've done children in need. We did Waveney last year. Mm-hmm. Again this year we're doing the charity which is close to Sharon's heart, which is the Waveney Domestic Violence and Abuse. Mm-hmm. And one that's close to Sarah's heart, which is Safe Rescue for Dogs.
Yeah.
So we're covering 2 this year. We also actually have, I will say, we have our donation boxes at our events. We don't charge for tea and coffee, but a little donation box would be lovely. I only said that.
That's fine.
So what we normally do is we have an event, a ghost hunt. Well,
yeah.
Which works out good. And last year we had an event, but we had a fancy dress ghost hunt, and we all came in Halloween fancy dress and done a ghost hunt. But this year we've said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to have a Halloween ball to raise the money. Basically, it's being held at Park Hill Hotel. We've basically hired out the hotel. We're going to have a buffet there, disco, karaoke, £15 a night. Oops, I did let that slip. There's going to be prize for best male fancy dress and best female fancy dress. So basically, you're still coming in fancy dress, but you don't have to. You don't have to. But we're going to.
I'm actually thinking I might come along to this one.
Lovely.
Just to dress up in fancy dress.
What we're hoping to do is, well, obviously we've got the disco karaoke. So, we're going to have disco and we're going to have karaoke, and we're also going to have the money pot by the karaoke. So if you want to sing, you've got to put a donation in the pot.
That sounds like a really good idea.
But everything else, we're basically hiring the hotel.
Yeah.
We're putting on the food. The bar will be open. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to buy your own drinks. I'm not supplying the drinks for anybody, especially not for £15. And what can you do for £15 a night? Come on.
Exactly. Come on.
And it's all going to a good cause.
That is just amazing. I think that's fantastic. So if you have the chance, guys, and you can make it Saturday, October the 20th this year, the charity fancy ball, dress ball, it'll be absolutely amazing, won't it?
It will. It's good. It will be a good night.
Have you actually got your costume sorted out, Gary?
Not yet.
Yeah, you might want to get working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I went as a undertaker, sort of storyteller undertaker last year. I don't think I'm going to do that again. I'm going to have to work on something. So I can't go as a clown because that will put Sharon off. She'll hit me. She'll hit me as soon as I walk out of this door, all through the night until we get back. So I can't go as a clown.
No, clowns are out.
Sorry.
I am so glad you told me that.
Yeah, no clowns allowed.
No clowns allowed. Saturday, November the 10th, you have the Elizabethan House in Great Yarmouth.
Yes. Yep. You're looking up.
As you mentioned before, you have the Coronation Hall in December, the 1st of December.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, that will be our last event of the year. So.
But you've got an awful lot on. You have been so busy.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
Do you look forward to Christmas and having a break?
Well, normally, what happens is, this is gospel honest truth. Normally, our last event of the year normally is around about the end of November. So, as you can see, December. Me and Sharon have got seven grandchildren. So,
yeah.
December time is that's it. We don't
Yeah.
do nothing, and we don't do nothing right through till February. Sometimes we do something in February, but we might even do in March. We might start in March, so we have a big break. This year, I don't think we're doing anything in August. I think. Oh no, I lie. We're going away, but that's not. I'm not holding it. We're going away with somebody else.
Yeah.
We're having August off this year. Normally got about 1 or 2 a month. So.
But you wouldn't change it, would you?
No. Well, I'm already planning for next year. I'm already planning next year's. You know, I mean, I don't even know if you look down next year, Easter next year. Friday. Not
you actually do. Friday, the 19th, 2019.
Yeah.
Not a ghost hunt experience.
Yeah.
Nottingham's a wonderful city, though.
Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing the Galleries of Justice and the City of Caves. And we're also organising Bodmin Jail and Jamaica Inn for another bank holiday next year. My job will never stop. So.
Wow. But you love it though, don't you?
I do. And I'm going to do what I'm going to do now before you shut off, because I've just noticed the time.
Yeah?
I'm going to plug your 18th of May. Is it 18th of May next year? Charity event.
Yeah, the sharing and caring.
Yeah, sharing and caring. So teams out there, all right, get on board. Get your charity sorted out. Get hold of Kaz.
Or Kerry.
They'll sort you out. Now listen and listen carefully. What's going to happen? Now this man here you've been talking to or listening to all night has had a heart attack. A very bad one. I've already said on May the 18th, which is just about a year after I've had this heart attack, I am going to walk to the top of Pendle Hill for charity.
Wow.
Okay. Now if I can do it, you can. So there you go.
Are you actually going to attempt that?
I'm going to attempt Pendle Hill on the 18th.
Wow, Gary. Take it easy, won't you?
Yep, I'll take it easy. I've got some people. I've got Sarah behind me. I've got Sharon behind me. And there's a few people that said they'll come along if I need it. Which is thank you. I will thank you very much. But what I would rather you do is, and they'll know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'd rather that one, especially one person that said it. I'd rather he go out with his team and raise some more money.
Wow. Do you know what? Thank you so much. I don't know what to say, because that's, if you've ever been to Pendle Hill, guys, going up that hill is not an easy task. It is it's quite a climb.
I will tell you what the charity is for. It will be for the British Heart Foundation. So
Oh, wow.
there you go.
Thank you so much, Gary. That's amazing.
There you go.
Do you know what, guys? You need to go along on Facebook, look up East Anglia Paranormal Investigations events. You'll find the group. Look at the group. You can look at all their events. They've got spaces available on events. Book in. Honestly, they're a great bunch of guys to work with. They really are. And Gary, thank you so much. That's actually been an hour.
It has gone rather quickly, hasn't it?
That has gone really quickly, hasn't it? But before we go, I just have to mention this. We have a brand new competition that's going to be drawn, I believe, next Monday by Kerry. Yeah, I'll put that one on Kerry. It's going to get drawn by Kerry on Monday on the live feed. Love the way I've done that. Anyway, it's for the Chocolate Factory. 2 places for the Chocolate Factory on the 27th of October this year with myself and the Ouija brothers. You're going to have so many people there. You're going to have Liz Reeves from E.A.P I, Ireland. You're going to have Wendy Johnson and her husband Tim, who are admins on my own group. You'll also have Stephen Walker. It's just going to be jam-packed full of investigators, so it's going to be an absolute fantastic night. And also, it's 3 days before Halloween, 4 days before Halloween. That'll be a really good night. So if you want to enter that, all you need to do is go to the Parasearch Radio group page, find the post, like it, comment. If you want to, you can share it. But get your entries in before Monday, before Kerry actually picks that out. The last thing that remains for me to say is, remember, you can catch Parasearch Radio on YouTube, on Twitter, obviously on Facebook. We are also on Podbean, on SoundCloud. You can't miss these shows. We're all over the place. So please check out all the shows. There's shows 6 nights a week. Come on, 6 nights a week. There's going to be something you would love to hear. So check them all out. And if you miss any, go straight to YouTube. You can find us on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, remember to subscribe, please. Gary, all it remains for us to say is say good night to everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.